everybody. We made it today. I didn't know if that was going to happen for a hot minute. Tech goblins all the way through and through, but I am here with Celeste Conowitch, one of our lead designer here, doing some pretty awesome stuff, and I've got a couple new things to talk about today. But before I do, I want to remind everybody we have an adventure calendar going on this holiday season. If you want to get your hands on, an adventure or two, we've got them at discount prices, and we're announcing them like 2 or 3 times a week, much like an event calendar, where the sales go up and down in like 24 hours. So you have to check it. So you can go to our website, check our social media. I believe Tomb of Mercy is out right now. I think that's the one I posted about today. So boom, thank you so much. It's pretty awesome, and we've had so many people give us so much love about that program, so or about the like adventure calendar, so we're really glad y'all are enjoying it. It's a little happy holidays Kobold style to all of you. But speaking of gifts of the holiday, this morning, like literally this morning, we announced the
like an hour ago.
Yeah. We announced the new Kickstarter coming to Kobold Press, which is Deep Magic 2. So I'm just saying, if you liked the first book, you're gonna love this. And so I actually have one of 2 designers for the new Deep Magic project here with me, Celeste Conowitch. Celeste, take a moment and introduce yourself.
Yeah, hey everybody, my name is Celeste Conowitch. I'm a writer of all things D&D, and most recently I have come on to the Kobold Press team as their senior game designer. So Deep Magic 2 is actually the first official title that I am spearheading as the senior game designer. So I'm extremely excited to be here and talking to you all about this super fun magical book. Yeah. I guess that's me.
Okay, very cool. Okay, so obviously, if you were in chat pre-show, you got to see the cover art for the new Deep Magic 2-book set. Let me say that a little closer to the mic. It's 2 books, everybody.
It's 2 books, everybody.
It's 2 books. So, Celeste, do you want to tell us a little bit about what we can maybe expect? Obviously, we can't spoil everything. The Kickstarter is not actually live until the new year, but you can be the first to find out about it by popping over, and I'm going to drop this link in chat. I want to make sure I do the right one because I got a fresh one this morning.
The sign up.
Yeah, I got a new sign up link this morning from Wolfgang. So, what can we expect? Especially since it's 2 books instead of just 1.
Yeah, so for those of you who aren't familiar with what Deep Magic is, Deep Magic was one of our pretty much like wildly successful projects that we published a few years ago. And essentially inside it is all things spellcasting. So Deep Magic is a giant collection of new spells, obviously, new spellcasting like subclasses, also tools for GMs. So talking about like NPCs and magic items, and even some monsters appeared in Deep Magic 1. So basically all things that you need to really make magic a very interesting and like thorough part of your campaigns. And so Deep Magic 2, of course, is building on that legacy. So inside Deep Magic 2, you're going to find a ton of new spells, new subclasses, and then we are also putting in a lot of tools for game masters, specifically in this, including some things like new downtime rules, looking at maybe some familiar options, some villainous options, how to build like really satisfying magic plots and adventures in your games. So a lot of the same, but also a lot of very new and exciting pieces. And we wanted to go ahead and also revisit Deep Magic Volume 1 as part of this Kickstarter. So Deep Magic Volume 1, we're going to be obviously updating with errata. We're going to be looking at some of the new trends that we're seeing in D&D and making sure that everything gets kind of a facelift and a new reorganization in particular. And we have some very, very cool new things that are going to appear in Volume 1 as well as Volume 2. So but I figure we'll save that maybe for a little bit later in our chat.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So if you are a fan of Deep Magic, the first one, you can expect some fresh new things and then some even better stuff. I say no better stuff, new stuff coming to the second book. So 2 books set, link in chat. And again, my apologies. My audio is definitely only coming through one ear for all of you, and I don't actually know why, and I'm pretty sure I can't fix the problem unless I go offline. And I'm just not really interested in doing that. So maybe you can do like me and just take one headphone out. just take one headphone out. There, you know what?
There you go.
yeah. Left earball was like, woo! There is a big surprise. We can't spoil too much, but we are going to tease you right now, everybody.
Yes.
So if you like spells and you like spell casters, I heard through the proverbial kobold grapevine,
the
clockwork vine,
the clockwork
vine,
the Zobek vine.
The Zobek vine. I don't know. Do they have grapes? I don't know. But I heard there are going to be 2 brand new Kobold Press, like creative seal of approved classes added to this book. 2 of them, brand new, never seen before.
Absolutely full base classes that are going to be coming out. One is going to be the big new addition to Deep Magic 1, and then one is going to be appearing in Deep Magic 2. So, and these are all full new classes, base classes, that will also have, of course, a bunch of new subclasses, new spell lists, and new spells, of course, to support those classes.
Yeah, everybody, this is your time to like spit take. It is true. 2 new classes coming to Deep Magic 2. Yeah, there's a lot of I see a pattern here. There's some two things happening, but you can be prepared that over time we will spill the beans, as we do here on this channel, and tell you all about what those classes are. But our Kickstarter backers are going to get first access to that knowledge. So if you want to be first on the Deep Magic 2 class boogaloo, you're gonna need to get over to get signed up so that as soon as the Kickstarter launches in January, you can be right there to kind of find out that information. Now, I heard that each of the designers designed one of the 2 classes. I'm not gonna spoil what the classes are, but who's your partner in crime on this project?
So for these 2 classes that we have here, we actually have 2 of our very own kobolds that have been leading the design charge on these. So Mark Rattle and Scott Gable designed these classes, and you've seen them appear in a ton of different Kobold Press works before, so they are so excited, and I am so excited on this. As for the rest of the content in these books, it's been primarily written by myself and John Sawatsky, who you might know was one of the brilliant minds behind, several of our releases, like the Prepared series, for instance. That is John's baby. So if you love the chaos and the fun of those books, you will certainly love all the things that he contributed to Deep Magic.
Amazing. All right, cool. Now, let's see. Are there other things that we can spoil without spoiling too much? I was told that we were like a little limited. Oh, I remember. I'm going to pull the art back up. There are hints in the cover art. There are hints in the cover art. I'll do a very slow magical fade for all of you into that. So, there are hints in the cover art as to some of the things you can expect from this. And I remember behind the scenes, we had a lot of conversations about the cover art for these 2 books and kind of the importance of the cover art. So that's, I maybe just another little teaser. Can't really spoil what that is, but it gives you a good place to start pontificating, everybody. We'd love to hear what you think those classes might be. We'd love to hear what you think, what kinds of new magics might be coming based on that swanky character art. The fire snake looks awfully creature-like.
Ooh, yeah. And I do want to point out too, in case y'all didn't notice, the 2 covers are, so we will have a bunch of different options as part of the Kickstarter if you want to just pick up Deep Magic Volume 2 because you already have one, or if you want to get them together. It's because that cover is actually one gigantic like image that we are so if you put the two books together, you get to see the full picture. So it's a wraparound cover piece. So I'm not sure if that was clear from the big long image, but it's going to look freaking gorgeous.
Is so cool.
Yes.
That reminds me of the old Star Trek box set, where when you would slot them all in the correct order, the spine showed like an image that was like such a those VHS days, everybody. Oh, how I missed them. Or having like all your matching Disney hard case, like the snap case clothes that were giant, they were huge. Anyways, it reminds me of that, and it makes my heart so warm. So you can get basically you can get the matching set if you want, and it looks like the cover art is like a huge part of the design for those two books on your shelf, which is so cool. Very nice. Okay, let me I was gonna ping over to the link, which I'm gonna drop again in chat just in case you missed it. Don't fret. I'm here for you. I'm here to back you up.
We got you.
I know the one that I was really interested in. So one of the big hits from one of our past Kickstarters was actually the addition of downtime activities. And how those have been very helpful for quite a few GMs, I think, out there in terms of adding to the player dynamic and story and the cool things you can do at the table. So, again, one bean at a time, but if you could pull one bean from the information you have about downtime activities, what can we maybe expect from that? I think that's a very usable thing across the board for player and GM.
Yeah, so something we really wanted to do, and for folks who are familiar with the original, like, Deep Magic, one, we really wanted to kind of revisit things and build more bridges for GMs and players to be able to work together to create really cool magical things. So whether this means, like, something we've emphasized a lot is talking more about the big concept in Deep Magic is a magic style. Which is a very unique thing because it's not like a new school of magic. Instead, what it does is it takes like schools of magic items, just really core thematic things to build these styles. And then so both a GM and a player could look at a style and be like, oh, okay, this is how I want to play this and demonstrate this in the game. So, and those familiar with Deep Magic 1, we had things like Shadow Magic was a style that was published in that book, or like Alchemancy, which is kind of a build between alchemy and magic. So with our downtime options and a bunch of the stuff we're doing in this book, again, we're really building that bridge so GMs and players have easier ways to make magic feel like a living and breathing part of that world. So in some of those options, you're going to see some things that perhaps you might expect. Things like, there is a mechanic currently for like researching spells, and that's a big part of the wizard class. But there really isn't a lot of support given there. So we're going to be looking at things, like that. Like, how do you do that in a narrative way? How do you do that in a way that's exciting for your adventures and not just like a boring thing you kind of write off, at your table?
Cool. Oh, man. Yeah. Everybody, all our wizard lovers out there just got a little excited. They peed their pants a little when you said downtime activity for wizards. Which we all know is what wizards are best at.
Research.
Yeah, research.
Yeah. All you nerds out there are going to be stoked about the options we are adding to gamify and also, update. Make things like learning new spells fun, or perhaps researching magical foes, or things of that nature.
Yeah, okay. I think that's really, really cool, actually. I'm looking through this media pack because it tells me what I can and cannot talk about.
Yes. I know, and there's so much cool art. I can't wait over the next few weeks, like as we're rolling things out. I think this might be just the most gorgeous book we've ever made. I just keep getting the art coming in and seeing, like, also though, don't worry, there's a lot of gross magic that we're getting in there. And it's just also cool. And like,
I stumbled across privately the limited edition cover for this Kickstarter. Y'all. Just let me put that out there.
And
okay,
again, like, because of the fun of doing volume 1 and volume 2, we get to really play with like the strong aesthetic look between the covers. So the limited edition covers just match so cool, and then the standard covers, how they'll be put together, and then we're offering a box set as well that'll do the wraparound. It's like it's so cool. This is going to be such a gorgeous book, as well as jam-packed with magic.
Case. That's what they're calling it. A slipcase. There's like a slipcase option for it. Man, I hope y'all are excited. Because if you're not, I feel sorry for you. This is so good. Like I said, I'm getting the sneak peek behind the scenes. But oh yes, thank you. Please, afternoon. Please keep taking my money and making my games luscious. We'll happy to make your games luscious.
We're here for you.
Next up, actually, I had a very interesting conversation about Deep Magic with a DM at PAX this year on the floor. They had swung by the booth, and he was like up and down about how best to integrate Deep Magic into his tables, because his fear, of course, is the great metagamer or, the power-hungry player who really just wants to like stack up on spells that don't really make sense. And so we had this really cool conversation, actually, about the way that Deep Magic is designed and laid out with the types of spells that are presented, where I was like, just slow roll them. Tell them they can't have them all at one time. Like, just like any great power, you have to see it in use or have somebody teach it to you. There has to be like a through path to the knowledge you're looking for. Yeah. Cough, cough, wizards, right? So you got to find the books, you got to find the teacher, you got to find, you got to see it to believe it, kind of a thing. And so we had this long conversation. It was really great about how to slow roll the use of magic depending upon where they're at in a game, the location that they're at. Like, certain places are going to use certain magic that other places won't. That some wizards, no matter how hard they try, may never be able to access certain types of magic. Like, I think that forbidden aspect is a great storytelling thing, but also like pushes your players to make certain choices, and it drives them in certain ways. And so he went from being terrified of adding it to the table to being excited about how he could actually tease his players, which was really, really cool. So I imagine this light is like cutting right into my neck. Okay, there we go. I look like I was like I look like all red, like I was sunburned. I was like, why do I look so red? I was afraid I was breaking out on screen. No, so yeah, it was really, really great. And we had this fantastic conversation. He ended up picking up the book. So I hope whoever he is, wherever he is out there, that his players are like getting to slow roll into new magic, and they're finding that.
And
really,
I hope you're
really
excited for more too.
Yeah, exactly.
That's something that I love, like talking about that narrative quality to magic and like how you can incorporate it into your games. That's something I really love about the Deep Magic series and the magic styles in particular, because they are a huge part of what Deep Magic is. And what's nice is that a DM or a player can pick up one of these styles and really build stories around it, because in each style you get an overview what it is, like who practices it, like why did this type of magic come to be, and then it makes it really easy if you have a specific faction of NPCs in your world, that are all about this type of magic. Some of the examples I can think of from book 1, apocalypse magic. Like, obviously, you look at that style and you're like, okay, this is perfect. Like, here is what I should give my villains. Or if you're looking, winter magic was one of the styles in Deep Magic 1. Like, if a player sees that, they already, like, I can see possibilities for building a character backstory. Like, why is your character drawn to this type of magic, So it really does help magic, or elevate magic from just kind of we're rolling dice and we're exploding things.
Yeah, it becomes a story element, not just a mechanical thing. Yeah, it's really it's actually very cool. I don't know all the super secrets of what's behind the pages of the new book, the second one, but I'm very much excited over the next few weeks to kind of crack it open and find out. Now, chat, as always, we are open to questions. Whether or not we can answer them is the thing. So obviously, we can only answer so many things. So we'll be really blunt and honest if we can't or cannot. What is the meaning of life? You will find it within the pages of Deep Magic 2.
I bet divination magic will help you find that answer, and there is some of that in this book. There we go. There we go. We've
Good
circled
answer.
Back.
What is
the deepest thing in the book?
In Deep Magic? Yeah, give us that deep
cut.
Oh
man, the deep cut. Here, I'll give it to you. Magic is cool, and all the best classes have spellcasting. There's the deep cut that you find in Deep Magic.
This here on Kobold Chats, where we take our announcements very serious.
Yes. I when I was brought on for this project specifically, I handed this as my first project. I lost it because I love Magic. Magic to me is so much of what this game is. That I delight it, and I rarely get to play. I'm kind of the Eterna GM, but whenever I do, I always want to be a wizard. Obviously I want to be a wizard. So this book is just filled with so much love and passion for all the strange and mystical nonsense that is Magic.
Well, I will say this. Great question. Will we see spell cards like Tome of Beasts 3? So the Tome of Beasts 3 cards that came out are with a great little partner company that we work with called Inkwell Ideas. Did I get that right? Oh my gosh, I hope I got that right.
I think so.
I think that is correct. They actually put that Kickstarter out. We gave them rights or permissions to print those cards up. Now, we have done cards in the past. There were Deep Magic cards. Y'all said you wanted them, and then you didn't buy them. And they take up table space at the convention floor. I just want you to all know that.
I didn't realize this is the deep cut hour. It's Deep Magic deep cuts. There we go. Hour.
Yeah, there you go. Exactly. Let me get this. Let me get some things out of chat here for us. There we go. Have the hammer, my friend. So yeah, there's we can say that there is always the possibility, right? We don't know what the stretch goals are going to be yet for the Kickstarter. I mean, obviously we as the public, because I'm always with y'all, I find out last.
We do. And there's some very cool
Dot
ones.
Really doesn't. Yeah. And so there's some really cool stretch goals. So who knows? One of the stretch goals might be cards. Come to find out. And who knows? We might just partner with another printing company that does cards better than say we do, right? Like we make books. And so we always like to have nice partnerships with groups of people. So who knows? There's always a possibility. But if it's something that everybody wants, making sure that you put that out there and tell us about it is one of the most important things you can do. So. Oh no, did my audio video get out of sync?
Yeah, I think your voice is a little ahead of your video, it seems like.
Oh, wait. Okay, I might be able to fix this.
Dun, 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 dun. Like I said, kobolds, they got in the magic wires today, everybody. Ooh.
Look, that was my camera, not even my sound. All right, hang on. All right, keep talking, Celeste.
Yeah, okay, well, drop the die ask in chat. I'm very curious what avenues of magic interest you the most, and what you're excited to expand on. Yeah, I think for me, the challenge of magic has always been how to make it feel like a living, breathing part of the world that adventurers can really interact with without feeling, overwhelmed by it. Like, oh no, it's so magic, I can't deal with it. Or feeling like, oh, this is something I'm not interested in. I think it's always a really fine line to work with your players and see what kind of magical applications you can actually put in the game that makes magic feel really exciting and a part of their personal narrative, as well as just part of a fantastical world. Everybody also, all my familiars are around here. They're also very excited about the book. All the cats. I apologize. But yeah, so I mean, magic is, I really feel like telling magical stories is challenging and interesting because it's such a cornerstone of fantasy, and it's been done in so many different ways that it really helps having toolkits like Deep Magic to be able to help you build those encounters or build those satisfying stories, or, modify creatures in your world to demonstrate the different aspects of magic that you want to show off.
For sure. Maybe is my sound better? Am I more synced?
I think so now. Yes.
Hot dog. Okay. Little unplug replug action never hurt
there
anybody.
Go.
So I unplugged it and replugged it back in. I want to make sure that we get this question because I really like this. What is your favorite spell? I'm gonna broaden this because obviously we can't spoil too much from the book. In general,
Oh boy, this is so hard. It's like picking your children.
I know.
I am really drawn to the abjuration school of magic. I actually said earlier in the chat, I just think it is so very cool, the imagery of a mage out there in the middle of combat, perhaps like throwing up a shield, you know, around their allies, or being able to like siphon resources or do like battle control type things. I think that is just so visually exciting in a lot of ways. And I love the idea too of being that line, that arcane line of defense against other. I'm that person who always takes like dispel magic, counterspell, the very first things I take, right? Because I want to be that magic like utila knife.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's interesting. I approach my magic like that too, but I'm such a druid at heart. So all of my magic spells are usually they're utility based, but it's like world around me. It's like I want to be able to talk to that plant, that animal. Yeah. I want to be able to make the hard ground turn to mud. Like I don't really fight you. I just want everything. I want to be able to affect everything else around me in certain ways. And so I feel that in a deep way. Speaking of utila spells, I think to answer you really directly, one of my favorite spells is a Kobold Press deep magic spell. And for a while it was Eldritch Blast, because that's just hilarious. But
that's ale, as in the beer, everyone in chat. Eldritch Blast. Yes.
But we have another one, and it's the rope spell. It's the magical rope spell.
Yes, the sticky one.
Yeah, where you can make a rope appear like a 50-foot rope appear at any one point that you choose, and wrap it around your waist, and it holds up to like 800 pounds or something stupid like that. The amount of shenanigans that I have gotten into with that single spell alone, the things I have managed
I've seen you do
off,
it on our one shot for oh my god, for Gen Con. That was a mess.
Spell. I love that spell. I have used it so many ways. I've used it to cross rope, like tight rope across something. I've used it to cast mid-air as a reaction to catch somebody falling. I have done so many nutso things with that spell. So I have to say, at least my most used spell is probably that one.
Oh man, well, I'm gonna have to go find the name of that spell after this and just be like, oh, Dot's favorite spell.
Oh no, is Deep Magic still out there? I can't remember. I don't know where my hard copy is.
Oh. That's okay. Yep, Sussy Scotty, one of my players, just chose Eldritch Blast when they level up last week. A fine choice. A fine choice, my friend.
A fine choice indeed. Let's see. I do want to, I also think it's important, we talked a little bit about the updates to the first book, but that's an important process for us here at Kobold Press, right? That sometimes the information isn't like outdated. Just the idea of the update itself to make it more usable, to make it more accessible, is part of an ongoing process, not really a product, right? So in that regard, we're trying to make Deep Magic, the first Deep Magic book, which was written, like Celeste said, years ago, even better for all of you at home.
Yeah, I think one of the major things we're going to do, and I should say too, for those of you who have Deep Magic 1, like, don't worry. All the content is still pretty much going to be the same, just with a couple new additions in there. But the major things we're doing is a big reorganization of how the information is presented in Deep Magic 1. So we're going to really streamline that to make it even easier to use and make it easier for you to find things across the book.
That was one of your comments, right? Like the big kind of response back that we got from everybody after Deep Magic was about the organization and not being able to find things as easily as we would have liked. So again, we took your feedback and we said, well, it has nothing to do with the spells. They're perfect. Reorganization we can do for you. And so as we moved into Deep Magic 2, it seemed like the right move to do them both at the same time and give you two really awesome things out the other side.
And we are going to be, revisiting things too, just like for thinking in terms of utility as well. So and it was great to be able to do, like in Deep Magic 1, for instance, we're going to be adding a section that talks generally about what a magic style is. Before we actually didn't really explain too much about that. So we're going to be making sure to put that in. We're going to be talking about like how to really use them in your games. And then also like how to maybe even create your own if you wanted to. And so that information will be like technical, how to use this information that is going to appear in both volumes identically. So you can still use them effectively independent of one another. So really focusing on just usability is, I think, the big thing that we're going to see with the changes in Deep Magic 1.
Okay, cool. Nice. I think, like I said, everybody seems pretty appreciative of that, that makes us glad to hear. I'm definitely not sitting here trying to find the name of that.
Obsessed. What is the rope spell? The sticky spell. Sticky rope.
It's called
Web.
rope of.
Line.
There's got to be a better way for me to search this stinking PDF. I know it is rope. It's something. It's a rope of anchoring rope. Anchoring rope.
Anchoring rope. Yeah, there we go.
Anchoring rope. That is hands down one of the greatest spells of all time. Period. Yeah. So good. So well designed. Actually, it's funny. One of the creatures that I submitted for Tome of Beasts 3, Megan was like, hold on to that. That makes a much better spell. So I was like, cool. Cool. That makes me excited. So maybe one day I'll get a spell made out of my really silly idea.
Maybe.
All right, everybody. Let's see. I feel like we had a few more questions come through, and I don't want to miss you. I'm very curious what avenues of magic interest. Pesky kobolds. All right. So sorry, I scrolled too far back. Magic does funk up electronics. Everybody can confirm.
Can confirm. Yeah, wizards and computers do not mix.
No technology. That's not
until one day when we decide, you know what, technomancy has to be a thing.
Yeah, right. Nice. Okay, yeah. So there were two other things. We had some questions about beast in relation to the magic. I know there's familiar information in this, right?
We do. I can say there is an emphasis in Deep Magic 2 about tools that GMs can use to help creatures and NPCs with magic. There are some very cool things that are incorporated. Again, really focusing on that toolkit to make things magical.
Love that. Things magical. Really great question from Paladin Hulk. When you're homebrewing spells or when you're making up new spells, what things should you avoid?
I think the best thing to do is to read a lot of spells and then copy the basic mechanics of what you see for homebrewing, and then change the details as needed until you get there. So that's why, resources like Deep Magic are awesome for homebrewers, because you can see all the different types of what exists, and then work within those confines. Because the more you read, the more you'll see, oh, let's see, like, why do these spells at third level like avoid creating something from nothing, or like why aren't there teleport things at this level? You'll start to see particular trends that designers secretly sort of build into the scaling of magic spells, because spells can be, especially homebrew spells and homebrew magic items, I feel like are the worst culprits. They can be those things where when you write them out, you think it's fine, and then the players just find ways to like really just break the game.
Yeah, break the game
with them.
Well, speaking of that, question, are there any super powerful spells, things like Wish? I don't know if you can tell us the most powerful, but are we looking at some high-level power spells?
Oh, yeah. And this does, I guess, touch a little bit on some of the tools that we're building in to help you build magical campaigns.
Nice.
So obvious things like really big deal magic plays a role in like how you might build whole campaigns that have magical themes, or, how you build villains that really feel like magical powerhouses. So certainly there are going to be some heavy hitting things.
The stuff
in this
about
book.
I think the evil, like your villains, will say, or your antagonist of your story will be very, very interesting. It actually builds into this question, which is, are we going to see any spells tailored for evil aligned builds, or types of magic that are considered evil?
Yeah, so, and I can say too, as part of the reorganization of DM1, in that original book, we had sort of the evil like branches, styles of spells as like appendices in the back. So there was like, I think in older editions of D&D, there was a really clear distinction, like this is evil, this is not evil. But as the game has progressed and people are more into playing the anti-hero or playing around with nothing is really truly evil or truly good, we are embracing that philosophy with our redesign and some of the new stuff we are putting in. So magic is neither good nor evil. That's what makes it so fun. That's how you use it. Is definitely the philosophy we're going with, which sort of opens up some doors.
I like it. All right. Well, in lieu of time and spilling too many beans too early, I will remind everyone you can head over to that link there in chat. Go to Kickstarter.com. And you can also search Deep Magic 2, put out by Kobold Press. The Kickstarter is not live yet, but right now you can sign up to get a notification as soon as it does go live. Remember, we give a lot of preview and special information, including usually a preview PDF of what is to come to our Kickstarter backers. So you get the first round of information if you help us make the project a success. You'll also start getting information, I believe, on what those stretch goals are. Cool. Celeste, tell everybody where they can find you when you're not over here writing up spells for us.
Yeah. So when I'm not actively working at Kobold Press, I'm probably still talking about magic and games, mostly on Twitter. You can find me at C Conowitch there. If you want to see me putting magic to practice and using a lot of Kobold Press stuff in my games, you can always check out Venture Maidens, which is the actual play podcast and show I run. I just used a Kobold Press monster the other day in our campaign, and my players were miserable. It was very fun for me. So that's where you can find me. But yeah, definitely make sure to check out that Kickstarter, because I cannot wait for you all to see just all the art that we're gonna have, and like it's just
and I can say we'll be making those previews here on Kobold Chats over the next few weeks. We are, of course, going to take a nice little holiday break because even kobolds hibernate, y'all. And, you know, they need to feel that Yuletide spirit. So we will definitely do some more art previews. I'm going to have some more of our designers come on board. When the classes are revealed, we'll probably do some really fun things around that. But again, we want to hear from you. So if you're viewing this afterwards on YouTube, thank you for tuning in. Tell us what you think in the comments, what you think might be coming. Click that link and make sure that you go get that notification. Same thing here if you're watching live on Twitch. And we'll be back. Same Kobold time, same Kobold channel next week, and then we're taking a quick little holiday break, everybody. Don't forget, the Advent calendar is active, up and running. I will actually link you to that Advent calendar as well, because...
so many good free things. Just
good,
go get, or discounted,
yeah,
so much good stuff.
So much good stuff. And it changes about every day to every 2 days, so it's the same link over and over for that Advent calendar. Right now, I believe we've got 2 current deals running, which is on the Tomb of Mercy, and the other one is Playing One-on-One, which is a free PDF. And if you prefer an audiobook, it is 30% off right now for you as well.
So cool.
Great. That's what we've got for you. See you all on the flip side. Same Kobold time, same Kobold channel next week. And if we don't see you then, have a happy holidays, everybody. Bye-bye.
Bye, everybody.